Good morning, and again we call back with our wonderful lectures what we discussed in previous sessions, and yes, I quickly call back all the previous lectures. We discussed about Stephen Hawking, and we discussed on LSRW skills and detailed discussion we did in previous sessions. And today I'm going to give a brief and lengthy lecture on writing skills. Why I'm a little bit tensed about writing skills. If you take your first year English textbooks, it purely depends on your LSRW skills, and out of 4 skills they strictly concentrate on writing. And this we have given in the 3rd unit of 4th unit, just to take up, and the 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 1st, like 5th. You have all 5 units. There are some activities related to writing, and just I hope you can receive this lecture, and these lectures will definitely help you resolve all your problems in writing. Yes, if you go with why writing is very important, and what are the techniques what are the strategies we can follow to, maintain the proper coherence and coherence in writing. That was we discussed in previous lecture, and this lecture will make you how to be a nutshell manner in writing. And they have given different tasks exactly in 4th unit. Just you can go to your textbook, you can understand. They have given some, pie charts, barcodes, graphs and pictographs. They have given different kinds of strategies, and they have given data interpretation. Likewise, they have given writing strategies. And if you take competitive exams, more competitive exams like GRE, IAS, and STAT, CAT, GMAT, if you take all competitive exams, they have given a particular weightage to writing. Maybe your writing stands on 20 to 25 marks in your competitive exam. And your ranks also, depending on your writing, they are going to give your ranks also. So, and we think that this is very crucial period in your entire session. So I request you to have a look about this writing skills, and just you can adopt all these strategies how you can crack your writing clearly. And see, if you take your 1st unit, 2nd unit, 3rd unit, 4th unit and 5th unit, every unit stands on, there is a 10 to 15 minutes, 10 to 15 marks depends on writing. So, and even they have given all these visual, we can call it as visual outputs and visual information. By having the visual information, you need to make your plan. For example, if anybody asks till now we have been to Untitled, culture. That culture stands on means it's nothing but writing means they can ask something, they can ask you to write a letter, or they can ask you to write an essay, or else they can ask you something that's related to like a paragraph wise. But here is the logically they ask you to give your information, though it's a writing, but this writing related to your analysis, and this writing related to your logical strategies. What strategies we need to actually follow in the writing, that we can have a look, and we'll go with the what all these strategies. That writing is very important. So writing, it's not like just make yourself write about 250 to 500 words paragraph, or 500 to 1000 words paragraph, or write up. It's a different session. But now we are going to deal a very burning issue in the writing. Means very hot topic in the writing. Means it's nothing but how to crack visual information. It's about before we are going to know the strategies of visual information, just we have a look about types of visual information. Let's check. Types of visual information. How many types we have? Let's see. Graphs we have, as we discussed. Tables we have, diagrams we have, charts we have, visual images we have, maps we have. means it's nothing but there are different types. For example, they can give some maps, or they can give some diagrams, or they can give some data interpretation, or data means it's nothing but they have given some barcodes, or they have given some graphs, and they ask you this is the information given by so and so, and we can ask you how many people are there in that year, maybe at 2020 to 2021, how many students get first class, or how many students fail in the examination. They have given that information, all that information like percentage wise. So that percentage represents as anything they have given in these graphs, in these types. Yes. What are the different parts of visual information? Okay, we have an idea. This is the visual information. Visual information has different types, and types we know already. Types means graphs, diagrams, data, or maths, or barcodes, or pie chart, like this. What is the purpose of this visual information? And what are the different parts of the visual information? What is the purpose of the visual information? For example, if you take visual information, how many parts are there in the information? For example, they have given a pie chart. The pie chart stands on information. That information, before we are going to start, according to the information given on pie chart, you are going to write something. How, before you are going to start your writer, how do you make your work easy? By using these strategies, right? Yeah. And first we have two different parts of the visual information. Okay. They have given visual information. This is totally visual information. But whatever information we got it, but we should not go with a blind way, or we should not go with all carrying all loopholes. First, we can segregate, we can divide the topic. Okay, they have given one topic, but each topic stands on, main topic, subordinating topic. Likewise, we have that. If we can go like a point wise, what's the introduction point, and what's the description point, what's the conclusion point. Like this, we can segregate the topic. Once it is over, then we can look back to the second point. What is the purpose of the visual information? Okay, first you got the topic and you segregate your topic, and then you are going to talk about what is the purpose of the topic, why they have given the topic, what is the reason behind the topic. You have to know that. Alright, and next, after completion of all this brainstorming, and look at it. And what kind of relationship among the details does the visual information show, and what is the purpose of short text or caption below it? So they have given, for example, they have given a pie chart, and they can give some 2 or 3 questions follows your pie chart, and they can ask you, and these 2 questions triggers your brain. Means it's nothing to what is the purpose of that we discussed, and what are the details they dumped in that topic, and we have to know that. For example, they are going to talk about the population about the past 50 years or 60 years or anything it could be. They are going to concentrate on population, and they are going to, it is a population enhancement, population increase in the year so and so. Population was a bit decreased in the so and so year. They have given there are some fluctuations in these 2 years. So, and the main what we have to finally we can ask you, and between 1919 to 2020, in these 2 years, comparing these years, how much growth we can find in this population according to the statistics. We can ask you like this. So immediately we have many questions. So as a blind writer, the people they don't know the strategies about writing. Simply they can call up something. This is about population in so and so, this year so and so, and what is the population rate in so and so year. They go through the beat around the bush, but they didn't follow the strategy. Before you are going to have such type of topics, you have to segregate your topic. So this is the main idea of the topic. What are the subtopics? What is the what are the causes for the subtopic? And what is the conclusion for the topic? Likewise, we can brainstorm and go with the process. Yeah. And next we will go with the, thus we discussed the previous charts. For example, they have given charts. Charts means it's nothing but a pie chart or anything. And how it could be just began. Function, organizational chart, specific kind, present, ranking, levels, ideas or process. Flow chart, specific kind, illustration, process or directions of steps. Means it's nothing but what we discussed previous. If they have given so and so, the types they have given, for example, if they have given flow charts, what are the strategies we can follow, and if they have given pie charts, what are the strategies we can follow. Means it's nothing but I have bring you excuse me, I brought you something about all types of visual information. Next we can look. Yeah, tables like we discussed previous. Pictographs, visual images, yeah, math, political, yeah. This is, what we discussed. For example, they have given different types of visual information. It's okay. For example, just we can go to the chart. This is an organizational chart. How this organizational chart stands on. And so there is, in every organization we should not bypass the hierarchy. So there should be a hierarchy, and the hierarchy stands on, CEO, manager, production manager, marketing manager, and foreman, fabrication, foreman, assembly, sales officer, workers, salespersons and salespersons. This is the organizational chart you got. For example, if you get this type of chart, we can ask you some questions related to this chart and how you are studying this chart. Just look at it. Yeah, present ranking or levels of ideas or process. We can call it present rankings and or levels of ideas or process. This is about something we are going to brainstorm on this topic. Yes. Yeah, flow chart. Illustrative process or directions of steps. Means it's nothing but still we have an idea. For example, if anybody asks you, you are not aware of this flow chart. Okay. If anybody, you are working in a company. If somebody asks you, may you know the hierarchy of your organization, how many people are working there. Just right away we should not say altogether including management your 200 or 250. We couldn't say such type of, bluff figures. But the people who are not having any idea regarding this, hierarchical order or the process of interpretation, simply they can say anonymous figure, means unknown figure. So as a 250, it's nothing but 250 out of 250, who is the CEO and who are the managers, they don't know. So if they have given, for example, they can ask such type of question, it's very embarrassing to give such type of answers. So because you are thorough about your hierarchical order, then definitely you are saying there is a certain hierarchy in our organization. The hierarchy follows lines, so at least we can. Yeah, flow chart, illustrative process or direction of steps. That we discussed very previous. Why these flow charts are very necessary in your writing? Yes. For example, you are going to give detailed introduction about your hometown. They can ask you in your examination part. Give a detailed note on your hometown by using flowchart. If they ask likewise, then obviously this is the process. This is the process we have to do our ideas one by one. Means it's nothing but what we discussed like a hierarchical order. Likewise, we'll go with the what is this flowchart? The main idea is we are going to jump in a topic. We are going to describe our village. And village means we come across many questions, we come across with many ideas. And how we can keep our ideas in order, we don't know. That's a big question. Why? Because we never been to that logical strategy. So for example, you are going to write about the first thing comes to your mind, what are the points I should keep in mind, what is the hierarchy in our place, which we know, we don't know. But we have been to practicing these flow charts in very short span of time, subject on our fingertips, and we can make our work very flexible. Yeah. So is a flow chart main flow charts triggers to the top triggers to give us steps of process of steps. Means it's nothing but process. This is the first, this is the second, this is the third, and this is the fourth. These are the steps, how these steps follow. Why fourth should not come first, why third should come first. So, as a before we don't know the strategies, we have a 10 members, but we can keep instead of one place, we can keep 3, instead of 5 place, we can set 10. Because we don't know the order. So, obviously we made mistakes. Yeah. We have to, yes. Yeah. If you go with the flow chart, then we'll go with the different types of stages we have. This is about an organization or any company, and how hierarchical order stands on. And likewise, we can ask you if you take a customer center or using a real management. Yes. For example, do you have feedback or quote, and do you want to see status ready to turn submission into policy? See a renewal policy. What all this nonsense you tell you can. The thought comes to your mind. Means it's nothing but whatever you are going through this. It's like this is off-screen process. For example, if you make a call to a call center, you are going to inquire about your recharge of options or any offers or any Diwali offers. Like this, you are going to make a call to a customer executive. So, and straight away the customer executive is going to talk to you on phone or anything. And this is these two frames are on-screen frames. But what happens really in off-screen means it's nothing but how does customer speaks to you more directly. What's the reason behind this? This is the off-screen job. For example, in any organization, there is a group of people. They are going to divide the work because these are the sales people, these are the production department, these are the marketing department people. How they can segregate all the people once if they are not going to segregate the people? So who will respond to your work? Maybe the market people and production people and sales people all should be in one group, and it would be clumsy. Means it's nothing but there is no how to effective work management. Because all people in one group and all people respond to each and every question. Nobody has handful of experience to be all the clients. So very short span of time, your graph will be lost. So this is not the way to be in the proper organizational sector. So this is about something. So number, what is the purpose to mention this is here and this is that, and the flow charts, barcodes. What are these useful in writing? Yes, that's a good idea. And means it's nothing but they asked you. For example, they have given this flow chart in your examination, and they can ask you. For example, this is customer center. Okay. Per year means it's nothing but this is 2020. According to the statistics of 2020, how many customers are satisfied with this organizational products, and how many people are giving negative feedback on this? Means they are not at all happy with the service. Means it's nothing but it's a very familiar word, rating. Some companies or stands on very good ratings, it's 4.5, 5 likewise. But whereas some companies are running with the least rates. What's the reason behind this? Maybe anything it could be. This is a process we can. Okay, for example, if you take 2020 statistic values and how many customers are satisfied and how many customers are in ambiguity and how many customers are rejected, and all these they have given a percentage. All these columns, all these blue columns has given this information. Here 10%, here 30%, here 20%, 10%. Likewise, if you take 100%, they can drop here and there. And finally, we can ask a question. Means it's nothing but it's do you want to see status? How many people? For example, this is the column. Now, what are the questions we can expect to this column? Okay, this is the question. Do you want to see the status? Okay. How many people successfully utilize their status? How much percentage? How many people successfully utilize their policies or something? Utilize their status. Then they have mentioned 30% and 20%. Okay, alright. And ready to turn submission into policy. Means it's nothing but how many people ready to, how much percentage, how many policies are ready to give a submission notice in the year 2020. Okay. For example, simple logic I can say, if you take LIC policy. Okay. This is the policy related to LIC. They have given flowchart on LIC policies and some insurance or something. For example, in 2020, how many policies are going to mature? Out of, for example, we have an idea. 70% policies are going to mature in the year 2020. Okay. Out of 70% policies, how many policies are reported to take a maturity? Means how many people are ready to take the maturity? And how many people are ready to extend their policies? Means it's nothing but how many people are ready to take another policies by some of this, by closing this policy. So likewise they can do. Means it's nothing but 70% people are ready to take their policies. And out of 70%, how many people are ready to take? How much percentage is willing to take? Likewise you can do it. Means it's nothing but if you are going to dump something, if the flowchart represents the percentage, that percentage represents your writing. Alright, and they have given equations also. It's not a big issue, you can easily move on. And the next you can go, that's the one part. Okay, just that's useful to that's in the what you call it, in the flow chart they didn't give any sort of information. They can ask you, for example, they can give you information or not, or else they can ask you by reading like detail or by watching the flow chart, by looking at the flow chart, revise your questions 1 or 2 times and write an essay on how the organizational growth will be in future. They can ask you likewise. So if they have given percentage like this, bar graphs, they have given bar graphs, comparison amounts and quantities. Then they can ask you, it's like few charts we discussed, and we quick look back about bar graph. This is the one type of visual information you have seen in your textbook also. And what all these, what type of work we have to do, what type of writing we have to do, next we'll discuss. And this is another, this we can call it as line graphs, and this is very important section already. This section you have in the textbook. Just you can keep in mind, and what is the purpose of this line graph I discussed within a few minutes. This is one of this. A pie chart, shows the relation of different parts of code. And you have in your textbook, what I am going to show you, in your textbook they have given very clear map. Means pie charts, line graphs, pictographs and barcodes, and all these they have given in your textbook. And just go through the textbook, and what you have to do in the textbook I will teach you few minutes. This is a pictographs. This is the type of pictograph. This is also you have in the textbook. Just keep in mind. For example, if you get a picture, the picture standard pictograph. How do you analyze your pictograph? How do you do data interpretation by doing pictograph? You'll see. And the picture is somewhat blurred. Don't worry about that. Yes. What are the different parts of the visual information? What is the purpose of visual information? That we discussed. Visual information. Condense or summarize information, can also replace textual information, provide additional information. Okay. So they have given all these types of visual information: maps, pictographs, or line graphs, barcodes, data or diagrams. You have given different types of visual information. Okay, we got it. Now, how do you follow the strategies? By doing our exercise, by doing writing exercise. Means it's nothing but first we have to do visual information, condense or summarize information. Means it's nothing but they have given countless information. They have given unwanted information in the diagram. Okay. How do you summarize how do you condense and how do you summarize it? Okay. For example, if you take, they have given unwanted stuff in that pie chart. Okay. How do you condense that? Any visual information, first step you have to do, condense and summarize. Okay. Means condense and summarize means which is the wanted and which is the unwanted. How do you know which is wanted and which is unwanted? Means it's nothing but by giving one or two times, leading to that, just give a read about one or two times flowcharts or any visual information, just you go with one or two times read. Then you have an idea what is the wanted and what is the unwanted. Then you can condense all unwanted and you can take into consideration this which is wanted. Yeah. And next can replace can replace textual information. Okay, they have given some textual information. It's not mandatory to carry what they have given in the textbook. Even it's not mandatory to carry to your writing. It's okay, no problem. Whatever information they have given, just replace it. And what is exactly required? You can take it to your own. It's not a problem. Yeah. And next, provide additional information. Okay. As what they have given in the textbook, it's not suitable to your context. Okay. You can avoid that. You can delete that. And instead of that, you can replace. You can substitute. For example, you are going to delete something, and the suitable diction you need to provide in the context. Means it's nothing but whatever information is not suitable, you can delete. And what is exactly suitable according to your interpretation, you can add. It's not a problem. Yeah. In interpreting visual information, find the central idea, note patterns, and come up with a possible explanation. Okay. For example, they have given some information. That information stands on to make you to find the central idea. And that central idea supports something. Maybe, for example, everybody has different perceptions. But somebody thinks that this is my perception. If there are 10 students, for example, for these 10 students are going to do exercise on one pie chart. But all 10 out of 10, 2 or 3 people have same idea. Remaining 7 people have one idea. Means it's nothing but which is the final point and which idea is the right idea, how will we suggest? Means it's nothing but we can give a proper judgment. How the judgment comes to you, it's a 100% genuine judgment. How will you say? According to the analysis. According to the analysis, you are going to give the judgment. That judgment plays a vital role. That vital role stands on. This is the center of your central idea of your topic. Alright. So it's nothing but everybody has different perception. All the 10 ideas may not be a single idea. But for example, if you read something, you are going to finalize this is the central idea. Okay. How you are going to finalize? For example, if I am going to ask you, my student, ma'am, this is the central idea of this topic. How do you finalize? How do you notice this is the central idea? And there are many ideas. Why can't you do those ideas, and why do you give a top priority to this idea? Then definitely I can ask you. Then my student, if they are really support that, really strong on that point, definitely they need to do some sort of analysis. Means it's nothing but support. They have to give us support to the topic and support to that idea. So all these support strengthen the idea. Then idea should be strong and I will convince this is the final idea of my topic. So the thing we have to do, any visual information or any picture, all the pictures we have seen, first we have to do the central idea. That central idea supports some points, or the points should be logical, or else I can easily condemn that it is not at all central idea. If you are quite logical, if you are quite strategical, then definitely your idea should be strong. Alright, and steps in read the title and subtitles. Okay, for example, we should find the central idea. Okay, idea is okay. Then what next we have to do? Title we need to find and subtitle we need to find. That's we discussed previous, title, subtitle, or likewise you can. Yeah, and read the labels, captions, please, and find out the purpose of the non-prose form. Identify the organization of details. Determine the relationship of details by looking at the changes and trends. Means it's nothing but we can find the central idea. That central idea we can find the title and subtitle. And what are the process we can find? What are the steps we can give the title and subtitle? We can go with this identify the organizational details. Okay. For example, which is the main title, which is the subtitle, and just you can give the weightage, which is the key role in this sector, and which point, attract remaining points, which is the core point of this. Then, for example, if you take Delhi. Delhi people or they are not having they are not able to get lifespan about 80 days and 90 years, but there is mortality rate is very less, and lifespan rate is very less, and the people are affected by pollution, and pollution is the main reason in the city. And now you have such type of context, and you need to write you need to decide which is the title and which is the subtitle. Okay, and people are not expanding lifespan is the main title, mortality or immortality is the main point. Our subtitle, pollution is the subtitle. Which one comes first? That would be a big question if they don't know the logic. Okay, what is the title comes to the first? Means it's nothing but all these points related to the pollution, and due to the pollution all these occurs. Means it's nothing but you have to use the technique. Means it's nothing but why, what, when. You have to use this technique. 3 question forms. Why? Why the people are affected by so and so. What is the reason behind it? Okay. There is a hectic pollution in the metropolitan cities. That would be the title. What is the subtitle to this, obviously? Okay. Subtitle, lifespan was reducing. That would be the subtitle. Alright. So now we can develop our ideas. Yeah. Just I have given example, but this is somewhat different. Yeah. In which item do teenagers spend the most of their allow and reading non-prose, identify the organization of details, determine the relationship of details by looking at the changes and trends. This is a step-by-step process now we have to do. And in which item do teenagers spend the most of their allowance? Means it's nothing but, for example, they have given one interpretation about the teenagers, their habits, and for example, they have given something, just you can go through this and you have an idea. And in which item do teenagers spend the most of their allowances? How much of the weekly allowances do teenagers spend for food, and what items are seen to compose the 1/3 of the allowance grant? Means it's nothing but it's a fact information. This information about student allowances and their expenditure. Means which is the title and which is the subtitle in this context we can take. Just we can call that Delhi pollution, metropolitan cities pollution. So likewise you can call that, you can prioritize your points and you can go through the which is the main topic and this is the subtitle to this. And here what is the main topic? Means it's nothing but student expenditure or student allowances. So obviously expenditure may not be depends on income. So if you have every expenditure stands on your income, right? And if you are not comfortable with income, though you have excess expenditure, but it's not manageable, right? So the thing you have to do, students and their expenditure, that is the topic. And next subtitle it would be obviously students, what we call it as students expenditure, students allowances, students expenditure. How many allowances means how many income they are going to get. Allowances which we can define income and their expenditure. How much income they are getting per month and how much expenditure they are doing per month. Just this is the internal analysis. Yes, likewise we can follow. So this is very natural manner I have given. Just you can go through the textbook and make sure they have given different types of diagrams. Just go through that. And the thing you have to stand on, they have given non-prose information. Means they are not in writing format. So they have given all diagrams. By using the diagrams you have to divide your topic. You have to segregate the topic. Means it's nothing but 3 things you have to do. You have to first you can brainstorm your ideas. Which ideas comes first? Whatever ideas comes first, that would be a title. And whatever ideas comes second, means it's nothing but all your second thoughts related to your first thought. Rotate to your first thought. So for example, you are going to make your title should be strong. This is a strong title. And then all the supporting points to your title means it's nothing but whatever subtitles you have, all your subtitle points should support the main title. Means it's nothing but title. Means it's nothing but this process stands on whatever information they have given. First you can give 2 or 3 readings to that charts or anything. Then after that you can brainstorm and you have to read the points or percentage, whatever it may be, and try to find the main idea. And after that main idea supports to the subtitle supports the main idea. Once main idea and subtitle is convinced, then your conclusion will come. Means it's nothing but these are not, there is no certainty. All these are uncertain. This is highly impossible to do a data interpretation from your diagrams. I hope this lecture will help you a lot to understand how to do the visual information process. I hope you enjoyed the lecture and see you in the next one. Thank you.